crazy enough, all of my business is from social media and referrals. So I've created a business that's fully online. I just post and the people just come to me.
All right, guys, what's up? I'm here with one of my guys, my realtor, my boy, Ryan the Realtor. He was actually somebody that helped us, get our apartment here in Brickell.
I appreciate you having me.
Ryan, thank you so much for having us or for having coming onto our podcast. You were a great help getting us into the spot, and we're super grateful for you coming on here. We just want to hear a little bit about your story and how you came to Miami.
Of course.
And literally the best realtor in Miami.
I appreciate it. You guys have done a nice job furnishing the apartment, so
I'll give you
that.
Yeah.
A little bit about myself. It's not like a dramatic story, like some people have, like rags to riches. I think that it's just a traditional story, but it all just kind of goes back to COVID. A lot of people, including myself, were iPad kids, and we would just doom scroll on YouTube. And I spent a lot of time on, fortunately, I got pushed on more of the financial side of YouTube.
Yes.
And I was just watching tons of videos. And one of my buddies, I was actually selling him a pair of sneakers. A lot of people don't know this about me. I was big into the
reselling.
Yeah, huge. I had the Nike Air Max, Yeezys, all of it.
Is that like those $10,000 shoes?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That was probably my biggest investment too. That paid off.
Would you post it on StockX and Grills and that?
I wasn't that serious, but I go to the sneaker cons.
The sneaker con.
And I'd buy sneakers there.
Yes.
So I was selling one of my buddies a pair of sneakers, and I kind of told him what I wanted to do. I kind of want to get into real estate. What do you think? And he told me something. He was like, you should consider talking on Facebook, going on listings that are for sale on Facebook and messaging the realtors and saying, hey, are you looking for anyone just to do administrative work, marketing work? I'll work for you for free. So I sent out mass text, mass messages on Facebook. And I think the second day I might've had 2 people that responded. Funny enough, the guy that I actually ended up working for, who became my mentor in the beginning, said no, but they found out that it might be worth their while to have someone like myself, a younger set of eyes on the team. So they actually ended up saying, yeah, let's work together. So while I was still in high school, I was doing the open houses, when someone puts their house up for sale, you do the open houses. I was doing social media marketing work. So that was a lot to get my foot in the door.
Definitely.
And then I graduated high school and fully got my license. That was right when Ryan the Realtor became
At 18,
something.
you got your license.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
amazing.
That's fire.
But I worked with the team for probably another year, maybe 8 months, because then I ended up going to college in Miami. So that's kind of how I came here. But the team actually ended up firing me.
Why?
Because I was a young, ambitious guy.
Yeah.
And I was doing tons of things, right? Reselling. I would buy vending machines. I ended up moving to Miami, so I couldn't use the vending machines. I had to sell them. That was the whole thing. I ended up being late to maybe 2 open houses, but no more than 10 minutes, But I guess it was enough to really get the blood boiling. And they just told me, we don't need your services anymore.
Okay.
So at that point, that was right as I was getting into school. I also had a just under $1 million listing that I brought the team, and it was getting ready to be sold. And I was really hoping that I was going to get that commission check, because imagine you're an 18-year-old moving to a new city and you have no money,
100%.
So fortunately, she paid me out. We're all good. And now I was in school, in college, University of Miami.
Okay.
And freshman year definitely got the things out of me that I needed to do just to be a college kid. But sophomore year is when I really dialed it in. I ended up getting my license in Florida my sophomore year, and I was taking the metro to downtown Miami, showing units in Paramount. I was really trying to get out. I was wearing a full suit and tie in Miami. And if you
sophomore year of university.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was wearing suit and tie in Miami, and you guys know now, since you lived here, that's a no-go.
That's insane.
It's too hot.
Yeah.
So I would come back home and I'd just be drenched, you know? But I did what I had to do to get my foot in the door. I mean, listen, when I first started, I only had 6, 7 clients for the year.
Yes.
And it slowly compounded. I mean, now I have over 40 in a given year.
Amazing.
So it's been pretty good. But fortunately, I've just been consistent with all the work that I do, and it's kind of brought me to present day.
No, we see you. We see your growth on Instagram too. And, you're also a realtor. But you're also like a personal brand as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we found you on
you found
TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah. No, but I remember also we connected for a bit, and then we kind of parted ways. But I saw that you were back in Miami, and I just followed up.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you have to do.
Yes.
No,
So-
yeah, you'll always make money on the follow-ups.
Have to.
No, this is like rare, like to have someone in Ryan's position, because most real estate agents, well, they maybe they get the license, but they have they don't know what to do with it after.
Yeah.
Maybe they work with a broker, but I'm pretty sure like maybe this is too long. Like they're out the business after a year, maybe even less.
It's tough. Like a lot of people want to be able to do real estate as a part-time. After their 9 to 5, they want to be able to do real estate, but it's tough because if you only give half effort, you're going to get half results, So what I did in the beginning, and the one thing that I think anyone that's getting into real estate should do, or honestly, any sort of content space, the one asset that we all have is our content.
Yeah.
And it's free to post the content anywhere. So why would you not post free content?
Definitely.
And so I was fortunate. I was just posting once, maybe twice, maybe even sometimes 3 times a day, just to push stuff out there. But you've got to be consistent with that content.
No, you're definitely doing it right. That's probably the biggest mistake real estate agents have during their mindset. They think real estate agent is a part-time gig when it's actually a career. Like you could make some serious income being a real estate agent if you put your like full foot down and like really invest into who you are, your clientele, and
Absolutely.
your brand. So you're definitely doing it right. I mean, you have a solid foundation.
Appreciate it.
No, like not only that, it gives you so much credibility.
Yeah.
When the people look at your page, your TikTok,
Yep.
and then when they see you like in real life, it's basically like a done deal.
Yeah.
So especially the units that you showed us were like the more like.
Ryan was not messing around.
No. Like he took us straight to the best ones.
Yeah.
You see, that's the thing. I was actually reading this article the other day.
Yeah.
Guess how many realtors there are in Miami?
How many?
60,000.
Are you
60,000.
serious?
60,000
Wow.
realtors in
That's
Miami.
crazy.
And what's even crazier is that there's a lot of people that are moving to Miami. You have 60,000 choices of realtors that you can use in Miami, And for some people, they'll work with a realtor that might not know the area that well.
Yeah.
They might do it part-time, or maybe their specialty is not Brickell, or, So to work with someone, you have 60,000 choices. So to work with someone, I mean, it's free as a tenant in Miami to find an apartment. So you should really narrow down your choices since you got that many options.
Yeah. So the thing about Miami, I mean, I was one of those people where like, hey, I want to have the dream of living in Miami. Like, I don't know shit out there. I don't know anybody. But hey, here's this guy on TikTok. He's like showing all these apartments. Like, it kind of builds like some type of trust as well, too.
Absolutely.
Like, when you land in Miami, you're like, hey, I got to hit up Ryan. He's going to show me around the best spots, the best buildings. So I think that's really good as well.
Absolutely.
But like, how are you currently getting your units right now to like try to close and
So crazy enough, all of my business is from social media and referrals. So I've created a business that's fully online. I just post and the people just come to me. So I've been wanting to post even more and more. And now I've also started collaborating with other influencers to see, like, do apartment tours, because that's another outreach that I can do to just expand the people that know about Ryan the Realtor. Working with a lot of the people that I have, when they see that you've done a good job, it speaks numbers. So they end up saying, hey, my friends are actually moving here, or, my dad wants to buy the apartment. So that's a market that I've been able to capture.
No, yeah, Ryan has like some crazy clients, some big clients, popular influencers. So can you name some of the influencers you work with?
So let me tell you how it started.
Okay.
I think that'd be a little more impactful.
Yeah, let's do it.
So it all comes back to content. So I posted this video probably a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. And it wasn't really like a high quality video. And I feel like this is where people stress out. Like, oh, the video has to be perfect. I think you just gotta put something out there.
Yeah.
I had Orangey. He's a big young crypto guy. Done really, really well for himself. He reached out to me before he was who he is now, he reached out to me wanting to relocate to Brickell. I found him a great spot for 6 months. After that, never heard from him.
Okay.
After that, probably about 4 months later, a guy named Morgan Hope reached out to me, and he really wanted this apartment in Brickell. I found it. From me working with him, he had some friends that were relocating that were part of his team. I ended up working with them to find their apartment, and it's just compounded, and I've ended up working with people like Brett Scales, all just because of that initial piece of content that I pushed out there.
Yeah, no, people sleep on that. Like that one reel can literally make you so much money. You know?
100%.
That's happened to me multiple times as well. You know, people see my content, whatever. You know, a piece of content ends up making me like damn near 100,000 in a whole year.
But you also got to think about it too. The way that I'm kind of looking at it is you probably are not going to get an immediate outcome of your content. You've just got to embrace that that's not going to happen. You've got to be able to stomach that I'm going to put this piece of content out now in August. And maybe in December, somebody will reach out to me, you know, but you've got to be willing to put that 1 foot forward and say, I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to put the money into my content so it's high quality. And when someone is searching for the exact criteria that's in your TikTok post, the algorithm's going to give it to them. And that's the play.
Yeah, like we talk about that a lot, is like even if the follower that follows you doesn't convert right away, eventually like they'll convert, you know, months later.
Yep.
It always happens.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Ryan, right now, you've been going crazy on the apartment tours. I've been seeing you do that lately. That's low key like a testimonial when they see that your clients are now having an apartment that's fully furnished. What's been like some of the reactions that your followers have been getting?
The reactions have been pretty good. People have enjoyed the collaborations, and a lot of people love to see the people that I've done the videos for, and they actually like to see how those people live, you know, because it's a video that it's short form, so it goes by in no more than a minute, but you can see how that person lives in a minute. People really, really like that.
Yeah.
So,
that's pretty cool. Right now, Ryan, are you like specializing in Brickell, or do you like is it all at least the surrounding area of Miami?
Miami isn't really that big when you think about it. So to say that you can only specialize in one specific neighborhood, I think you're cutting yourself short. Most of my clients are typically between 18 to 35, and that age range tends to want to be in like Brickell, downtown Edgewater. So that's where I've spent most of my time, and I've probably in doing that at least just about every condo here. So I could tell you which building would be better for your specific criteria.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really valuable in a market where there's 60,000 realtors.
Yeah, that's insane. No, you definitely showed us like the right apartment that we were looking for. Realtors that when we first got here were showing us apartments that were still occupied. You know.
No, yeah, they're fucking showing us some fucking rat nest and shit. Like, like they'll take us to some dude's apartment. Dude has his whole thing is like dirty as hell.
Yeah.
And like, bro, like, why are you taking us? Like, we're like some high level fucking clients. Like, you can't be taking us here, you know? But the thing about Ryan too is that like, he's like, no, he's like, you got to stay here in Brickell so you can make all the connections with all the influencers and, you know, level up your brand. And so he knows about that shit too, you know, and it worked out too. You know, we met a lot of people, like he said, and we connected with all of them, and you know we have content with them as well.
But how soon did we lock in with Ryan when we got here? I think you showed us maybe a couple units, and maybe within a couple hours we got locked in.
Yeah, I remember you guys. I think we might have seen one or two in your building. I don't remember, but I just know that when you guys found it, we moved fast, and I think I got you guys approved in like less than a week. So it was fast.
We're grateful for that.
It was fast. You guys got to work right away. No delays.
And a lot of people that I've met here in the building have also worked with you, and like they like nothing but good things.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So, for example, like let's say there's a realtor out there trying to do the same thing that you're doing. Like, how would they get into the real estate game, and then how would they get like some units that they can, you know, lease out or like sell to other people?
You know, I think if it was someone getting started in real estate, what I would do after immediately even before I get my real estate license, I'm starting to meet people in the industry. I'm trying to find out who the big players are. Who's someone, if I'm new to the market, who's someone that I can work for that can teach me a couple things about the market that would take me 3 months to learn. So you're getting a little bit of a head start. Once I kind of have that selected, I'm going to start posting on social. I think that that's one asset that is just it's free to post on social media. If you're not doing it, you're behind. So doing it consistently, and that's just the name of the game to start. I mean, you can also be hosting open houses if that's kind of your goal. But getting into apartments, filming videos, eventually there's going to be someone, and there's tons of social media accounts of people that do the same thing that I do, but you've just got to be consistent, and you've got to show quality and unique apartments, something that somebody wouldn't be able to find with the other 59,999 realtors that exist. You've really got to be able to provide value.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Well, the content is perfect. Like even before you get the license, you could just show like you're studying.
Sure.
I'm on track. This is my journey to becoming a real estate agent.
I think it also goes to show when someone's looking for a realtor, they understand your journey. They know a little bit about you in the beginning. So when they meet you in person, it's not as much of a stranger as it is someone that's a little bit warm, a little bit open.
It doesn't matter what industry it is. Like if you're coming up in some type of industry, you have to you have to grind it out, So definitely want to get a mentor, especially somebody that like went through it already. So, we talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
Who were some of your first clientele? Was it friends and family, or it was none of that?
So it was none of that. Like I said, I got my license while I was still in school. And I actually ended up working with students. Big student houses, like frat houses. Big 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom houses near the university. The kids would pay tons. For a 5-bedroom house, they're paying $2,000 a room. That's $10,000 a month.
Oh, wow.
And if you're a student, in Florida, the commission structure is half of 1 month's rent to whoever is representing the tenants. So if the rent's $10,000 as a college student, you're making $5,000. That's pretty good. Now, if you do 2, 3, 4 of those in a semester, I mean, dude, you're ahead,
Yes.
So, but you guys still got to have a good head on your shoulder. You can't like let your foot off the gas and go party, but that's
because they want to see you as an authority, not maybe just another one of the guys.
Exactly. But I think I've also learned in the time of now being outside of school and working with, a lot of clients in Brickell, is that people don't really want to just be sold, right? They want to be sold with a friend. They want to enjoy their time while they're looking for apartments and feel like they're actually having a good experience with the person that they're working with. And once the deal is done, you can still have a relationship like we have to do things like this,
So you mentioned frat houses. Like, what's one of the craziest things that you've seen or happened to you when you were like showing a listing, or maybe you had like a crazy ass client? Like, what's a story? There has to be something.
Top of mind. I mean, nothing that's been that crazy. I've gone to show apartments in the city with someone that didn't know I was there, right? And I go open the door and they're like taking a nap or something, and I just walk in on them. It hasn't really been that bad. I have had clients that want to come to Miami. They want to see expensive stuff, but they're not actually serious. And you can usually tell like after their first or second tour if they're serious or not. I always like to say yes to any opportunity. You never know who you're going to meet, but you can definitely tell when someone claims to be something, but they're not.
Yeah. So what do you do in that situation? You just ignore the client or the lead, or you just move on? Or
no, I mean, I think that you have to, when someone says that they are who they aren't, immediately once you can tell, I'll tell them, hey, I don't think that this is going to work anymore. I had a great opportunity working with you. Or like I'll send it to a partner of mine or someone else that's willing to take on that little bit of a risk for potentially a large payoff.
Yeah. So that's the thing about being a real estate agent is that like you have to do a lot of front end work. You get paid a lot on the back end because like, going out and meeting these people and wasting like an hour or two just showing them around, and probably for a whole week too sometimes.
I mean, it's all part of the game, man.
Yeah,
it's
no, I get it. Yeah. But the payout is worth it for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, do you think you're ever going to build a team underneath you, or just you?
As of right now, I'm still building. Okay. Every year, my personal company is getting bigger, because if I have 40 clients this year, and let's say I do the same business volume next year, well, those 40 clients that I help this year are either going to buy a house, they're going to rent another apartment, or they're going to stay where they are, which obviously you prefer like the first two choices. But let's assume that half of them move somewhere else, which I think it would be a little bit more than half that would move, but let's just use half. So if I get 40 clients next year then I would get another 20 from my previous year. So that's 60 clients. And then you can just see
it's
how year over
compounding.
year, it just continues to compound.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the 18-year-old, because I want to ask a follow-up question. How was the real estate license, the testing, and just getting that out of the way?
It's actually not as hard as you think. You've just got to do it and get it done with. You can do it online. You can do it in person, but you also can't give it half energy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that expensive. I think it's maybe no more than $400 to get your real estate license. And then obviously you have like the fees associated after the fact. So I'd say maybe all in all, your first year, you're probably going to be about $3,000 in getting your real estate license. But for the test, you can typically do it in 3 months, 4 months.
Yes. Yeah, there's a little bit of studying involved, right? When it comes to the test.
There is studying involved. I will say things that
Yeah.
you learn on the licensing test,
Yes.
you don't really use in practice, you know?
For sure.
But it's still good to take away those key important factors, fair housing law, all that stuff, because it does come into play, the legality wise comes into play. But in terms of like drafting contracts and stuff like that, you won't learn that unless you're in person.
Yes. Ryan, 18 you started, and how old are you now?
23.
23.
Oh shit.
Wow.
That's crazy.
But right now you're on track. Like you definitely have the opportunity to, I'm not sure this is in the pipeline, but to have your own brokerage.
It's something I've thought about, but as of right now, I'm just more focused on building right now. A brokerage would be cool, but also the time factor that you have to consider when you're building a company like that, it might just be more worthwhile working for yourself and just building your own client base.
Definitely. What do you think about these top maybe celebrity real estate agents? I think Ryan Trahan. No, not Ryan.
Ryan Serhant.
Ryan Serhant.
Yeah, I mean, I think what he's done is amazing.
Yeah.
What he's accomplished during COVID, he created his own brokerage when no one else would have. He did. In Miami, there's tons of brokerages. There's so many, and I think the most important factor, it's not the brokerage that you work with, it's the agent themselves. You know, like I said earlier. Do they have value? Do they know what they're talking about? Have they done what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Those are really important things to consider. And again, when there's 60,000 realtors, you've got options that you can choose. You know, do a little bit of research and you'll find who the top agents are in your city. Even if it's not Miami, even if it's in, Houston, somewhere else, there's still tons of realtors over there. So do a little bit of research to make sure that who you're working with, because at the end of the day, no one really likes to switch up on someone that they're working with.
Yeah.
So just do a little bit of front load, ask some people some questions, and get to know who you're going to be working with. So that way, it's a good relationship.
Someone like him, is he still a real estate, or does he also, like on the back end, he has his own brokerage?
So for him, I think it's a little bit of everything. It's brand, it's the media that he pushes, it's also the work that he does. So it's a little bit of everything. He's created a very good personal brand for himself, and I think people see that. They see all the marketing that he does, and that goes a long way for people who have big listings. They want to work with someone who has big publicity.
You've seen Ryan Serhant before?
No, hell yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big fan of the $1 Million Listing.
Yes.
But I remember he used to talk about this too, and I'm gonna ask you this as well. Like, so when he was on the come up, Ryan Serhant, like he would actually dye his hair gray because he wanted to come off as like older and more experienced, like for his clients, So going back to your age, like, do you tell like your clients your age, or do you hide it? Because like you don't want to have like that stigma, or, like, oh, he's young.
No, I mean, I don't think that Miami is a unique market. It really is. Everyone that lives in Brickell and downtown is typically like 18 to 30.
Yeah.
And they really thrive off of that youthful energy. I feel like that goes a long way. I've never really had someone say to me while I lived in Miami that I'm too young, right? I mean, people might commend me for my age for what I do, but in Virginia, where I'm originally from, a little bit outside of DC, people didn't really want to work with the younger guy because over there, it's typically people's like forever home, right?
Yeah.
And they take pride in how much they pay for their house.
Yeah.
So they feel like a younger agent isn't that experienced. So over there, it could be a little bit different. But in a city where it's super youthful, people thrive off of that energy.
No, yeah, it makes sense because a lot of the younger kids here in Brickell or in Miami, like they're the mentors. They're the ones like that put you on game and shit.
Yeah.
So especially with the online social media stuff.
You've got to be able. What I've learned is you've got to be able to match the vibe of your client, and I think it's difficult if you're 60 years old as a realtor and your client is like 25. You have no idea how that 25-year-old is thinking, what they're doing. you know, if you're a 23-year-old realtor and your client is 22 and they're using platforms like fan bases, like all those things, you kind of know a little bit about that. So you can talk to them,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
No,
I
yeah,
think
like
being
the
able to
scammers
relate.
live right there, and then you live over
Exactly,
here.
exactly. So you can be able to relate to them a little bit more. And I
Core
think that,
sellers live over right there.
exactly. And that's where I think that I kind of get a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's actually a great point.
What do you think about these Netflix shows like Selling Sunset and
You know,
Oppenheimer Group?
I think that they're cool for like just putting on the TV and just like watching some stuff. But a lot of people, they see that specifically like maybe like bottle service girls in Miami, they see like those TV shows and they're like, oh, you know, I want to become a realtor. I'm done with what I do right now. And now I want to become a realtor.
I've seen that meme.
You know,
Yeah, like,
and it's just because they watch TV shows like that and they get a false expectation of what the industry is. Because like I said, there's 60,000 of us.
Yeah.
So you've got to really be able to be good at what you do and be able to self-support yourself for like 6 months.
Yeah. No, if you're a bad bitch, doesn't mean you're going to convert into selling homes.
I mean, listen, anyone that looks good can sell real estate here, but
Yeah.
how much real estate can you sell?
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Not only that, is like you're not gonna get handed all these units for you to sell, like just because you're a girl and you just came into the industry.
I mean, listen, guys have a little bit of an unfair advantage when it comes to that. You know,
Okay.
they can, you know, take a nice selfie and they can attract 2-3 clients. People like to work with that kind of realtor because they feel like that's a part of me, you know, like that's a representation of myself. That's also why I try my best to dress as good as I do because clients are like, oh, my realtor is a representation of myself. So if my realtor is known for XYZ, do you want to be affiliated to that? Probably not. So that's why I try to really set myself apart. So when we're together, like, yeah, that's my realtor.
Yes.
That's Ryan the Realtor.
No, yeah, I've actually heard about like some female realtors that are in Miami that like they'll fuck their clients just for a close, like NBA like stars or like, you know, just high level people. You know, I don't know how true that is, but I've heard those rumors before.
know,
What do
there's
you
a lot
think,
of-
Khaled?
there's a lot of I mean, a lot of politics involved when it comes to you know, closing clients.
Yeah.
I'm sure it happens in a lot of industries. I mean, real estate, there's a lot of money involved, so I'm sure client relationships happen a lot. You know,
Yeah,
it's a high
definitely.
pressure environment. There's homes and like the clients, but there's boundaries. I'm sure majority of real estate agents have boundaries with their clients.
Yeah.
Maybe coffee and that's it. But,
Yep.
but that's pretty much.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What do you think about like the Dubai real estate market?
It's hard for me to speak on Dubai because I've never been.
Okay.
I'm going in the end of this year, so I'm looking forward to that. It's maybe going to be fun, but I don't know. I feel like it's just like Miami. You know,
Yeah.
you've got to get into these projects that haven't even started yet. You know, like if you'd have gotten into Aston Martin before it was even Aston Martin, you're ahead. So, but I think it's the same thing in Dubai. If you buy properties right now, it's still a peak market, you know? So I think that you've got to be able to find properties at a discount. I will say that I personally think there's a little bit more of a buyer pool in the US markets. We're seeing a lot of Southern American investments here. That was a majority of the makeup last year was Southern American investors. So to be able to have that access to European clients,
Yeah.
also access to American, specifically New York and Californian clientele. That's huge. And people move to Miami specifically from different areas in America because of the tax savings. So being able to invest as a Southern American investor, European investor, even a US investor, you know that you're always going to have a steady tenant in your property because of the benefits that they receive when living here. I can't speak on the benefits of Dubai. I don't know, but I can say that in Miami, people come here because of those benefits. So that's sorry to keep repeating words, but that's another benefit that you have as a landlord.
Amazing.
Yeah. So what do you think about the Miami market right now? You think it's like going to go up or is it going to go down?
I think that Miami's market is not crashing. I think it's cooling. The condo market is kind of tough because interest rates are high and the maintenance fees on condos are high too. For example, a 1-bedroom apartment, the maintenance fees can be $1,000 a month. On top of your mortgage payment, that's $1,400 a month. You've got $1,000 in HOA maintenance fees. You've also probably got another $1,000 in taxes. So it's all in maybe $3,500 for an apartment that would only rent for $2,700. The math doesn't really make sense. But it is a good time for people who are looking for an investment because we're seeing properties sit longer. So it gives you an opportunity to get a lower purchase price if you really want the asset and the owner needs to sell. I will say though that houses on the water, Venetian Island, Star Island, Palm Island, all those places, if you're a waterfront property, you're going to be doing well regardless. They can't build any more land on Venetian Island. They can't build any more land. They can't build another palm. I mean, I guess they could, but they're not going to build another palm and hibiscus and Star Island. So to have a property on one of those islands, as long as you buy it right, like don't overpay for it just to have it. But I think that you'll always do good on those Class A properties.
No, that's fucking insane. The Miami market is definitely going to boom, especially with like the Mercedes and the Bentley building that they're building.
It's a Porsche building too, no?
There is. That one's already been done, but Miami we've been seeing a lot of branded development and just fueling.
They have the Dolce Gabbana one right here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Soon enough, if you're looking for a good pricing, now would be the time to buy since they haven't even started construction.
Yeah, no, that's
put an
offer. Business is good. I mean,
no. Okay, so let's say somebody's watching this right now. They're somewhere like in a different state, different country.
Sure.
They want to live the Brickell lifestyle, Miami lifestyle. Like, what's going to be like their average like price point for like rent or like buying?
Okay, so you could probably get away with the Brickell 1-bedroom, maybe even a studio apartment. It depends on the class of living that you want, right? Like if you want something super modern for a studio, you're probably going to spend a little bit over $3,000 for a super nice modern studio, right? If you don't really need to go that lavish, you can maybe get something for less than $3,000, maybe $2,800, $2,700.
Oh, it's not bad.
But it's not like lavish living, right?
Okay.
Like it's an older condominium building. In terms of how much you're going to spend on just your daily life, I mean, for a month, you'd probably spend $2,000, $3,000 on food, dinners, experiences. You can't live in Miami for a year and not do anything. You have to at least enjoy it while you're here. So
100%. The beginning is where you just have to get it out of your system. After that, first, let's just say 3 months, you start to cool down. You know how to move a little bit better.
Yep.
Because Miami, like when you first get here, you have no control over your money.
Oh yeah, there's so many things, many things to do. But at least once you've done it, you can say I've done it. I don't need to do it anymore.
But Miami is beautiful. Like it's definitely the spot for international people to come over here. Like there's a lot of like motion going on in Miami, and it's always been a hub.
Yeah.
Like, would you say that like our apartment or our condo, what would you call it? A
condo?
Condo?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you think that our condo is one of the like the best locations like in Miami or on the planet or
Planet's a big assumption. But in Brickell, I would say that this is a good location to be in the neighborhood. I mean, there's some buildings you can go a little bit more on the southern side of Brickell, the more financial district, and things are going to be more chill. So if you're really looking to meet people, go have some fun, this would be like Central Brickell is the spot to be. This building has the most youthful action. So if I was in your shoes, this would be a place that I would live.
No, yeah. So like for people, looking in, like the building that you live at kind of matters too.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, like none of this shit matters, but like if you want to be like on like a hierarchy or like status or social, whatever the fuck it is, like the building that you live at does matter.
Yeah.
And like talk about that, like how it's a flex, like living in certain buildings here in Miami.
I'm big on finding things for clients that are unique, right? Because then a lot of my clients now are social media influencers. In the beginning, not so much, but now it's just been more referrals and they want the trust level from working with one influencer. Their financials are private, so they don't just want to be sharing it to just the next realtor on the list. So
100%.
I've been trying to focus on finding them unique apartments, things that they can post on social media and want to get the comments going crazy. One of my clients got a industrial style apartment. And everyone in the comments was like, oh, you live in a parking garage. You live in a parking garage. And while people are saying that, they're driving up the algorithm because people are commenting on his post. Yeah. But he paid a little bit more in rent, but obtained it back, no question, because he had a unique spot that he rented.
No, I did see that. Is that the one with like, it has like no walls?
Correct.
Yeah, that one does look pretty fire. It's by the water. Where's that one at?
It's in Miami Beach.
Oh, Miami Beach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like talk about like the status of like, for example, living at Flatiron or like living at Panorama or the Aston Martin.
So obviously every building is going to be a little bit different in what they have to offer. If that's a bigger deal to you, then I would say I always tell clients, given my experience, I can kind of tell you who lives in what building. So as much as it is a status thing, it's also a lifestyle thing. Like, do you want to be in a building where it's top security, or do you want to be in somewhere where it's a little bit more chill, it's a little bit more cheaper, So it's totally the tenant's preference. Like Flatiron, I will say, is high security, high profile people over there. Same thing for SLS Lux. Aston Martin is top. Like this is if you've got a lot of money to spend and you're just willing to spend it. It's also new. So a lot of people love to live in an apartment for the very first time. No one else before.
Yeah.
But you pay a price tag for that.
For sure.
Yeah, no, the Aston Martin is definitely next level. I love how that shit looks, and the amenities and the pool.
Yep.
Definitely pricey for sure.
At Aston Martin, you can end up spending for a 1-bedroom. Right? I'll break it down for you guys.
Yeah.
Aston Martin for a 1-bedroom that faces north, right? On like floor up to like
Is that
420.
facing Brickell Key or the
No,
opposite?
that's facing
The
Biscayne
opposite.
Boulevard. You're looking right at that. Where Gordon Ramsay's restaurant is.
Yep.
You're looking right at that tower. There's no real view, but it's
Okay.
$6,000 to live at Aston Martin. So that's very entry level to the building. Now for a 1-bedroom with water views, we'll get up to like floor 30 and above. You're going to end up spending about $7,000 to $9,000 for a 1-bedroom.
That's insane.
Not with a den, just for a 1-bedroom.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, let's say that you want a 2-bedroom, no water view, under 12,000, between 9 to 12,000. Water view, 12 to 14 for a 2-bedroom. But it's to be able to say you live at Aston Martin.
Yeah,
They've got
that's
unique things. They've got an Aston Martin DBX house car
Yes.
that I believe will take you within like 5 minutes or 5-mile radius
That's fire.
of the tower. So it's kind of unique things like that people like about Aston Martin. It's also the price point. Like I said, everything is so expensive over there. So people who have money that don't want to be bothered will go live over there because not as many people can afford that price tag.
Yeah.
So it's going to be only people who have that kind of money that you're surrounded with.
Yeah, most definitely.
So
Aston Martin's cool. Might have to stay in Brickell Heights, to be honest.
No,
I
yeah,
like Brickell Heights. I'm
yeah.
definitely like we're looking to move up to like the 46th floor.
yeah,
Like I have like a very sick,
there's a unit right now I think for 10,500.
like that. I could see like
You guys seen that one?
Yeah, I did show it to him. Yeah,
Yeah.
We are looking at it to be
Okay.
honest.
Because Aston Martin, a beautiful building. I love walking past it in Brickell Heights. It's just away from all the action here and like
I hear you.
Yeah.
next to the strip and like when we see our balcony view, we could see like what kind of commotion is going on downstairs. Because
Yep.
anything big that's happening, it's gonna be near the strip.
Yeah, I think that apartment's also unique. Maybe we'll flash it on the screen or show some videos of what it looks like so people can see what we're talking about. But
Yeah, we'll show it.
it's unique because it's super high ceilings. What they've done with the apartment is super cool. So to be able to film in that apartment, do any sort of social media content, that's what I was saying earlier. These unique apartments.
Yeah.
People are gonna comment, be like, "Oh, how much do you pay for rent?" And you do a whole video about it. And
That's important.
That's just extra views, extra engagement. You can host events in the apartment, so it ends up paying for itself.
No, yeah, it's definitely an investment for sure.
Yeah.
No, the people in the Aston Martin building, like they're a different class of people.
Yep.
No,
Every
100%.
building is a little bit different, like you said.
Yeah.
Aston Martin is its own subset. I don't think they really care who's pulling up to Moxie like us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
You know?
for real. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
No, like the only thing that sucks about it is that like you have to like walk over the bridge, to get to like Brickell.
Yes.
But if it was like on the other side, like kind of where like the W is
The
at,
W?
or
Yeah.
like Brickell Key, like that would have been fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But no, that shit kind of
That
sucks.
building is what? It's a Qatari investors. Where like it looks like a Dubai building,
I mean, it looks like the Avengers building.
the Avengers building.
Yeah, that's what people say.
Oh, okay.
It's got investments from all over, but it's experiencing a problem. People are trying to sell for prices that don't make sense. So
much?
There's
Oh, okay.
too many apartments for sale right now,
Okay.
and that's a problem. That's a problem.
Mm.
People
Wow.
who bought and used financing
Uh-huh.
now can't sell their apartments for however much they paid for it, or if there's maybe a little bit of profit,
Mm-hmm.
but no investor or new buyer wants to pay that extra profit.
Mm.
So people are having to sell for a loss. Nobody wants to sell for a loss.
So
Yes.
how's it like the vacancy there at that building?
I mean, it's tough. Like I said, there's $6,000 for a 1-bedroom. Right? There's only a certain amount of people that will pay that much money for a
Yeah.
1-bedroom.
Yeah.
So
No, definitely some foreigners have to be living there.
Yeah.
No, that's fucking fire. But is there anything else you want to tell the people? Like any like secret gems that when they come to Miami?
no, I mean, I think checking myself out, Ryan the Realtor on social media, I'm always kind of posting unique places that you can be. If you are moving to Miami, make sure that you're working with someone that can provide you enough value.
Yeah, like also let them know the like what it takes, like what the requirements are into moving into a new apartment like ours.
So if you're going to move to a Miami apartment, specifically a condo, and the difference between a condo and an apartment, a condo is owned by an individual. An apartment rental building is like a big tower that's owned by one company, and they lease out the individual units. With condos, it's typically first month rent, last month rent, and security deposit.
Okay.
3 months rent to move in. I always tell people when they're moving to Miami that you should consider a condo over a rental building, and here's why. People have the amount of money to pay the first month, last month, and security deposit. That's for an apartment that's $5,000 a month, that's 15 grand, right? So to be able to surround yourself with people who have liquid, you're not going to have liquid 15 grand. You're going to have liquid probably 30 grand. So to be able to surround yourself with people who have the money, I think it's pretty valuable to be able to learn what they're doing. Now you go to a rental building and the requirements change. It's your first month rent and $1,000 security deposit. So anyone that wants to move to Miami but doesn't really have the money, but wants to say they moved to Miami, they'll go to an apartment building. So if you're a genuine person, you make genuine income, that might not be the crowd you want to surround yourself with. Yeah, it might be cheaper on the initial, but in the long term, who are the kind of people that you're going to meet? Who are the kind of people that live there? So I think it's definitely very important to consider.
No, that's an amazing point. The entry point is way different.
Yes.
So I like that. I like how you broke it down.
No, for real. And like talk about the like how long is it going to take to like actually close on a lease? Because I know Florida it takes about 2 weeks to like close like a lease or whatever, or enter a new lease. But I know you can expedite it like how you did with us.
So every condo is going to be a little bit different on the timeframes on when you can be approved. So let's say that you sign a lease. We find a perfect apartment and you end up signing a lease on September 1st. Typically in Miami, it'll take up to 2 weeks to be approved. So September 14th is when you're supposed to be inside. And the whole process is a few days before September, we're seeing the apartment, making sure it's one that you like. We're sending an offer on the apartment, and then we're getting the lease signed. Once the lease is signed, then you have to apply to the condo. And all that is just an online application for most condos. Then you send it over to management. Management loves to take their sweet time. And once they review the application, that can take up to 2 weeks. And the reason that it takes up to 2 weeks is typically condos have a board of approval, a board of owners that all work together. They want to see the condo succeed. So they work as a board and they approve the application typically. And they don't meet every day. Yep. Maybe they meet once or twice a month. And so that's why it can take up to 2 weeks. Now, in the beginning, though, when you're sending that application to the building, you can typically pay on most condos, not all of them. You can typically pay an extra $50 to rush it. And that just means the internal document review is done in 24 hours and then it's pushed to the building faster. And what I always do for my clients, if they're on a time crunch, I'll call the association next day that they receive it, let them know the important dates and deadlines, just so it's top of mind for them. And they'll remember that I called them and I'm like, hey, got to keep in mind these dates. And always try to be nice to management too. Every time you're on the phone with them, they probably don't enjoy what they do. They like what they do. But if you can brighten up their day, I think it goes a big way too. So
yeah.
Credit scores, apartment building versus condo building. What's the ins and outs?
So every building is going to be a little bit different on the credit score requirements. Flatiron, for example, is a 750. If you don't have I believe it's 750. 725 might be around that range. So if you don't have that, just forget it. Some condos also review your income.
Yes.
Some don't, some do. So that's important to consider. Not every condo does reference your credit. So that's why I said in the beginning, it's very important to work with a real estate agent that knows the buildings.
Situation.
Because if you come to them with a specific, buy box, you're like, hey, I've got a 700 credit score. I have great income. Where do I need to go? Or you give me a situation. Yeah, I have like a 600 credit score. My income is fine. I just so happen to miss one payment. I can say, hey, this is where we need to go.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
No, so you got to get your credit right because you don't want to end up living in a fucking shit box, just because you don't want to fix your fucking credit.
Like you said, like showing off your apartment, people want to see how you're living.
Yep.
And the better the apartment, low-key, is going to make you a little bit more money.
No, 100%. Yeah, but no, I appreciate you coming through, bro, and I appreciate you, looking out for us and all the clients that I am sending to you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys having me on. This is super fun. glad we got to share a lot of information to people that are watching the pod.
100%. So where can they find you at again?
So on TikTok, you can just search up Ryan the Realtor.
Yeah.
You'll find me. On Instagram, it's just ryanleach.realtor. I have a clipped page on my TikTok that I'm slowly growing, just like kind of a behind the scenes day in the life.
Yeah.
So Ryan the Realtor clipped. You can find that there. And my number is on my social medias. So if anyone's looking for a Miami apartment, they know where to find me.
Yeah. No, that's fire, bro. Thank
The
you.
best realtor in Miami.
Thank you. I appreciate
You
it.
guys hit him
100%.
up. Honestly, if you guys
Yes.
looking to really make a move down here to Brickell or just the Miami area in general, tap in with my man, the Ryan Realtor.
No, and he's a real realtor. He's not like
Yeah.
just some Instagram model
Yes.
fucking wasting your time and shit.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thanks
But-
for having me, guys.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
See you
guys.
guys.
Thank you guys so much for watching the Brickell podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
All right, guys.